As you can see from the title, I'm getting ready to talk about LeBron James. Now, as of this recording, this is right after Game 3 of the Heat and the Bulls and Game 3 of the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs. You know, congratulations to the Spurs for taking home court advantage back. A great game by Tony Parker in the Spurs. And also, I hope a speedy recovery for Stephen Curry. Also, great game by the Miami Heat as a team. Great game by the Bulls, too. You know, they gutted it out despite losing. You know, it was a moral victory in more ways than one. And to me, the MVP of the game was Chris Bosh. But what I want to talk about in this video is LeBron James, man. And you know, I'm disappointed. You know, we're talking about the guy, and I've said this before. The best basketball player, the most talented basketball player that I've ever seen, and my favorite player. As far as physical gifts goes, he's the most talented I've ever seen. He's not the greatest player. The greatest player is Michael Jordan. For some of the reasons I'm getting ready to talk about in this video. First of all, as you can see from the title, LeBron James, the most disrespected superstar in NBA history, for many reasons that I'm going to get into in this video, and I'm disgusted right now. And I was going to make this video for a while back, but I think this is a good time to do it. First of all, during the game, I called the half truth yesterday, man, and you know, I voiced my disgust with him about LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And you know him. He loves it, boy. You know, he ate it up. And you know, LeBron basically, man, this guy, man, as much talent he has, man, mentally sometimes he's just not there. You know, I was thinking about when I was watching the Heat game last night. You know, because I used to be a Bulls fan. You know, about when Jordan was playing and stuff like that, and to see that Chicago Stadium or the United Center, and just to hear the defensive music and the crowd and look at that court and stuff, it just reminded me of the old Bulls in the 90s. And I was thinking, I said, man, I wonder if the Bulls, and I remember thinking this right before the incident that I'm getting ready to talk about happened. And basically, I was thinking, like, man, if this Heat team right now was playing the Michael Jordan-led Bulls team, who would win? And then right when I was thinking that's when Nazr Muhammad pushed LeBron James from basically the three-point line to below the free throw line. And that answered my question right there. The Bulls would definitely beat the Heat for several reasons. You know, Dennis Rodman, number one, they would put him on LeBron James. Now, they could put Scottie Pippen on LeBron James, but I would put Dennis Rodman on him for several reasons. One, he's long, he's tall, he's a great defender. You know, I'm not saying LeBron wouldn't score on him. Of course he would. LeBron could score on anybody. But the main reason why he would get in his head mentally, man, and he would take LeBron James, to me, he would take him completely out of the game in several different ways. You know, look what Dennis Rodman used to do to guys like Karl Malone, Alonzo Mourning, and these guys are way more mentally tough than LeBron James was. So to me, I definitely give the advantage to the 90s Chicago Bulls. But that's neither here or there. Now, first of all, the reasons why I'm saying LeBron James is the most disrespected superstar in NBA history is for a lot of reasons. First of all, let's get into the Skip Bayless thing. Now, Skip Bayless makes a living off of basically just completely dissing and disrespecting LeBron James on a daily basis, man. This guy calls him the Queen. He calls him the Brick. He might call him the Queen. The Frozen One instead of the Chosen One. He says he's not mentally tough. He just disses him all the time. You know what he does. And then there were several things that I used to see, you know, during the games where basically LeBron James gets, I hate to say this, but the man gets punked. You know, he's gotten punked many times. And this is not the first time when you just seen Nazr Muhammad push him. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Like last year in the playoffs, Danny Granger. Danny Granger just basically, he punked him too. You know, he pushed him and he got up in his face, and LeBron James didn't do nothing, man. You know, he didn't do anything. And then just the fact that you can just tell the players don't respect him as a man. You know, they respect him as a basketball player, but they just don't respect him as a I'm not saying a fighter, but just his fight. his inner fight. Like, for instance, if that, listen, if that was Michael Jordan last night that got pushed by Nazr Muhammad, Nazr Muhammad is a role player at best on that team. If Michael Jordan would have got pushed down by Nazr Muhammad, first of all, Michael Jordan would have got up and ran up in that man's face, and, they would have had to hold Michael Jordan back. And then after that, the Bulls would have got blown out, or the team that did that to Jordan would have got blown out, because Jordan would have scored 50 on them. You know what I'm saying? He's just mentally tough like that. The same thing with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, when things happen to you in your life and stuff like that, you get stronger. When Kobe was going through that rape case and stuff like that, he would come in from out of town and score 40 points. Teams were booing him and stuff like that. He would even play better after that. And LeBron James, even though he is the best physically talented player that I've ever seen, he just don't have that. He don't have that. He's a clutch performer now. He's gotten past that, I think, and he's a great player. But when it comes to things like that, when people get in his face and getting under his skin, he just doesn't respond well enough for me. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, and I agree with this to a certain extent. LeBron James is way too important to be just running up on people and pushing and punching. He's too important to the Heat, and he'd get thrown out of the game. And I agree with that. You can't go in there getting, acting like Ron Artest and Steven Jackson or something like that, or Jermaine O'Neal, or Matt Barnes or something like that, and get thrown out of the game for fighting. But at the same time, you got to stand up for yourself, man. And Nazr Muhammad, you could just tell the way he pushed him that he didn't think nothing of it. He didn't think. There's two things that goes on there, and I call this the game within the game. One is, if a man pushes another man, that's fighting. If you're standing there with somebody and you two are bickering back and forth and they're saying words, that's one thing. But once somebody puts their hands on you, then that's on, man. I mean, me and my homeboy was talking about this last night. Like, I've had plenty of situations that I'm one-on-one with somebody and we're talking and heat, and everything's flaring up and stuff like that. But then once somebody puts somebody's hands on somebody, then that's it. Then you got to put your hands back on that person. You got to protect yourself, man. You got to stand up for yourself and show people that, hey, I ain't no punk. You ain't going to be coming up in here doing this to me. And LeBron James don't do that. He doesn't stand up for himself. And I know he's trying to play that angle, and I'm going to get to that in a second. That's the first part. The second part is, he's the best player in the NBA. So Nazr Muhammad pushing down LeBron James, he should be thinking, oh man, if I push him down or get him mad, he's about to go off on us. They don't think that, because he don't have that. LeBron James doesn't get mad and turn around and score a bunch of points and destroy the team. He's just not that type of dude, man. You know what I'm saying? The only time I've seen him really get mad and play real good and stuff like that was Game 6 against Boston last year in the playoffs, when he, changed his whole demeanor and style up. But LeBron James' angle now, he's basically saying, hey, I'm basically too important to the team, and, I'm just going to relax. I'm not going to let these guys bother me. And he just sat there like it didn't bother him. But it did bother him. And I'm going to tell you why it bothered him. Right after that, right after he got pushed down and Nazr Muhammad got thrown out of the game, LeBron James went into the basket and tried to do an aggressive move and missed the layup. And, he tried to respond to it or whatever. But then he got pulled out of the game. Now, this is why I don't go by stats. You can't read this on a stat sheet. LeBron James' body language after that completely changed. You can tell that he kind of mentally checked out for a little while. Because he knows this is the information age, and everything is on YouTube now, and Instagram, and Twitter, and Facebook. And he knew everybody was going to roast him for getting pushed down and punked like that on national TV. And he thought about it. And I remember I was looking on the bench and I seen, the Heat, all the Heat players. And when the Heat would score, this is when LeBron was on the bench, everybody was like, yelling and going crazy and clapping hands and standing up and stuff. But there was only one dude that wasn't standing up and wasn't clapping, and that was LeBron. And it wasn't because he wasn't happy his team wasn't scoring. He wasn't, clapping because he was thinking about what happened to him with Nazr Muhammad. And he wasn't mad like, yeah, I'm about to go out here and kill him. He checked out for a little while. And if you don't see that, go back and watch the game if you recorded it. That man checked out. So, LeBron James is a great player, but he's not mentally tough. So let's talk about some more things. The reason why I think he's the most disrespected player in NBA, disrespected superstar in NBA history. First of all, the decision. The backlash he got from the decision, man. Oh, my gosh. Everybody was dissing him. Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. All them boys dissed LeBron James after that. the Cleveland Cavaliers fan basically just, burned his jerseys, called them all kind of names under the sun. They all dissed him. And basically the guys that I just mentioned, all those superstar players basically said, hey, I would never join up with another superstar and do that. And everybody was dissing him about that. And then when he got to Miami, he did the concert or whatever, and Charles Barkley said that was a punk move and stuff, and it was. And then after that, he during the season, he got booed every time he touched the ball, and sometimes he still gets booed. This is the best player in our league today, getting booed every time he touches the ball. Let me backtrack a little bit. Now, I don't want to really get into this man's personal business, but let's just say there was a rumor that happened in 2010 with one of his teammates and a female relative of his. That was a big rumor. And I'm going to tell you something. If that was true, and if his teammate did that with his kinfolk or with his person that he's related to, very close to him, that's one of the most disrespectful things you can do. And a lot of people just, like I said, man, they just don't have respect for this dude, man. If your teammate would do that with your relative, you know what I'm saying? That's just a disrespectful move. And then in 2011 NBA Finals, you all know what happened then when he failed in the finals, and basically everybody was dissing him. Mark Cuban, all the reporters, everybody was going off on him, especially Skip Bayless. And then Jason Terry. Jason Terry's not half the player LeBron is. But he went out and said it after Game 3, he basically said, let's see if LeBron can, check me for the rest of the games. He said it out loud in the middle of the finals. He said that. And I'm thinking, oh, man, Jason Terry's about to get lit up now. LeBron's about to kill him. And LeBron played worse and Jason Terry played better, and they beat him. And LeBron James disappeared. And that's another reason he gets disrespected. And another thing is LeBron James, he's the best player on the team but doesn't get best player treatment. That's Dwayne Wade's team, and I've said that before. LeBron's the best player, but that's Dwayne Wade's team. I remember Kendrick Perkins got dunked on by Blake Griffin. And, LeBron made a tweet and was talking a little bit of crap about, the dunk or whatever. And Kendrick Perkins basically dissed him, LeBron, and basically said, hey, he just wants attention and you need to be worrying about this and that. This before LeBron won a championship. And Kendrick Perkins was dissing him. You know what I'm saying? And then Jordan, he's always dissing LeBron under everything. Like I said, he said he would never go to another man's team. And also he said that he'd pick Kobe over LeBron. He would pick Kobe over LeBron. And then he said if he was guarding LeBron, he'd force him left and this, that, and the third. He's always dissing LeBron. And one of the main guys that disrespects LeBron James is Deshaun Stevenson. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back when Deshaun Stevenson was with the Wizards and LeBron was with Cleveland, they would have some serious playoff battles, man. Now, LeBron would win, but Deshaun Stevenson, you think this Nazi Muhammad stuff was bad? Look up Deshaun Stevenson and LeBron James. Deshaun Stevenson pushed him and got all in his face, and, he would always be, messing with LeBron and punking LeBron. LeBron would never respond back to the dude. And this is when I was a big LeBron fan. I'm like, man, push him, do something. He wouldn't do anything. Deshaun Stevenson just basically punked him. Even though LeBron was a better player, Deshaun Stevenson would punk him. And then after the finals, Deshaun Stevenson had a shirt on after the 2011 finals, and he had a shirt, and I'll show it. You can see it in the picture what he said about to LeBron. And he just totally disrespected him, man. And then also Brendan Haywood. Brendan Haywood from the Wizards was dissing LeBron. He basically went out and he was mocking and mimicking LeBron for basically, crying about fouls and stuff like that. The same thing Danny Ainge did when, LeBron was complaining about the fouls, against Chicago and stuff like that. They all disrespect him. And then, of course, there was another rumor in the 2011 NBA Finals where a teammate that's on his team now was, I guess, messing with somebody that was close to him again, LeBron, in his life. And this guy, he used to play for Orlando, but now plays for the Heat. And according to reports, he was messing with somebody, a female, close to LeBron. And that's why a lot of people think that LeBron checked out in 2011, just like he did in 2010 when a certain teammate messed with somebody close to him, And that's just disrespectful on all kinds of different levels, to mess with somebody that's close to you like that. And then you got Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard was the #1 LeBron James supporter. Now he disassociated with him. He even disses him. And then of course you got the half truth who just makes a living off of just totally disrespecting LeBron James. He just has no respect for him. And then you got the cartoonist. The cartoonist was the #1 LeBron James fan of all time, and he is even dissing him and disassociating himself with him and claiming he's a Bulls fan now. So it's bad. So LeBron James, man, even during the season when he's making, doing dunks during the pregame, people are going off on him about that. Say, hey, why don't you be in the dunk contest? And they're criticizing about getting dunks, about making dunks in the pregame. And this is the best player in our league today, the most talented player that's probably ever come in the NBA, and he gets disrespected by everybody. And then Nate Robinson too, man. Nate Robinson blocked his shot, which I'm fine with. I don't mind everybody gets blocked, but the way he ran around, Nate Robinson jumped around and stuff like that and celebrating. Man, if that was Michael Jordan that got blocked like that, not Nate Robinson, I know he's, a tough guy and he likes to celebrate, but he wouldn't have been celebrating like that if he'd have blocked Jordan like that. Because he knows Jordan would have came down and killed him. He would have killed him for the rest of the game. But LeBron James is not like that. He don't have it. So when Nazim Muhammad pushed that man, pushed him right in the chest and pushed him down, LeBron James didn't do nothing, man. I mean, he did nothing. He didn't even act like he was getting up because he didn't want to get up. And that right there, man, is the most disrespected player in NBA history, man, as far as superstars go, man. He really is, and I'm disappointed because he is my favorite player, and I'm getting sick and tired of it, man, to be honest with you. So let me know what you guys think about that. If you got some more examples about LeBron James getting punked, being disrespected, and like I said, him being the most disrespected superstar in NBA history. All right? Thanks, guys.